I'm currently sitting in a high-end cafe, sipping a latte that costs more than my rent used to be, while my entire family is currently in a physical brawl over a set of cracked ceramic plates that aren't worth $5. They think they're fighting for the family fortune. The real fortune is already in my bank account, and the best part is, they'll never know I'm the one who stole it. My grandfather passed away 3 months ago, and honestly, the aftermath has been an absolute circus. He wasn't a rich man. He lived in a cramped, one-bedroom apartment filled with dusty books from the 70s and furniture that smelled like decades of mothballs. But you think there was a literal gold mine hidden under the floorboards based on how my aunts and uncles are acting. These are grown adults, people with careers and mortgages, screaming at each other in group chats for 3 weeks straight over who gets the heirloom silver spoons and some old wood carvings that would be rejected at a garage sale. It was exhausting, toxic, and honestly, it made me sick. None of these people visited him for the last 5 years of his life. He was lonely, he was tired, and he was forgotten. Until the second his heart stopped beating. Then, suddenly, everyone became a professional grave robber. Last weekend, the family tasked me with hauling away his old mahogany dresser. They called it junk and told me I could have it if I could manage the weight. It was heavy as hell, a massive beast of a thing that took 3 of us just to nudge. While I was in the garage trying to pull the drawers out to make it lighter for the truck, I noticed the bottom drawer didn't sit flush. I've spent enough time in workshops to know when wood has been tampered with. There was a false bottom made of thin plywood that looked just a fraction newer than the rest of the mahogany. My heart started racing. I grabbed a flathead screwdriver, pried the corner, and the wood snapped back to reveal several thick, yellowed envelopes. I sat there in the silence of that dusty garage, counting the bills, 20 after 20, 50 after 50. It was exactly $5,400 in cold, hard cash. To some people, $5 grand isn't life-changing, but for me, I was drowning. My credit card debt was suffocating me, my car loan was 3 months behind, and I was eating ramen noodles for dinner every night just to keep the lights on. I didn't say a word. I didn't even breathe. I shoved the envelopes into my laptop bag, loaded the dresser, and drove away without looking back. That night, my phone exploded. My mom called me, hysterical and sobbing, because her brother had accused her of stealing a set of silver spoons that I'm 100% sure never even existed. I just sat there, eating a $20 steak I ordered on delivery, listening to her vent about family loyalty. I felt a tiny spark of guilt for maybe 5 seconds, but then I remembered how they treated him. I remembered the Christmases he spent alone, and the birthdays where only I showed up. They didn't want his memory, they wanted his things. So I decided right then, they could have the things. I'll take the freedom. Since then, the group chat has turned into a war zone. I get notifications every 10 minutes. My aunt is sending 5-page essays about who deserves the old TV and the dusty curtains. They're arguing over a decorative rug that is literally stained and smells like cat pee because she's convinced it's an antique worth thousands. It's a psychological thriller happening in real time on my lock screen. Every time they get closer to a physical fight over a worthless ceramic bowl, I just hit mute and go back to my new life. I've paid off my car. I've cleared my debt. I bought actual groceries for the first time in a year. I'm living like a king on the junk they were too lazy to move themselves. I realized something as I watched them tear each other apart over nothing. My grandpa would have loved this. He hated the bickering more than anything in the world. He knew exactly what kind of vultures they were, and he knew that I was the only one who actually sat with him in that dusty apartment while he was still breathing. He didn't leave the money in a will because he knew they'd sue each other for it. He left it in the one piece of furniture he knew only I would be willing to carry. He didn't just leave me cash, he left me a front row seat to the most satisfying show on earth. Today, the war finally ended. They divided the plates, they split the antique rug, and they all walked away hating each other, thinking they'd won. They're all home now, polishing their worthless junk, while I'm sitting here debt-free, watching the sunset with a peace of mind that money can't buy.